Hi. Okay, so you've received your home inspection results and you're probably thinking, now what? Well, within the timeline that is provided on the contract, the buyer has to provide their home inspection results typically with a request is how I prefer it to be done. I've seen it done other ways, but there really should be a request. And the next thing is that the seller has to provide a written response. There's usually a few days in between, but the dates are custom per the contract. And the written response typically should be, we will fix or repair items maybe 1 through 3, but not 3 through 5, for example, or we'll fix everything, or we're going to fix nothing, or the other option in writing can be that we need more time to gather more information and quotes, and we request to extend the negotiation period to a certain date. So there's the date that the buyer has to submit everything. So that's done at this point. There is the date that the seller has to respond. So that's what we're working on now. So you've received your request, and the buyer can choose to ask for anything they want, although technically if you disclosed it, you do not have to fix anything that they are asking for, although buyers will still ask a lot of times anyway. But that's why we recommend people be very, very thorough when they are disclosing everything. So you'll see the request, and honestly, if you have enough time between the response and and when you receive the request, the first thing that I usually recommend people do is to look at it and then put it away for a little while, because usually the first time when you get the request, it looks like a lot more information than it actually is, and so you can feel very overwhelmed when you first look at it. A lot of times these reports are anywhere, I've seen them up to 50 pages because there were a lot of things that needed to be fixed. So they can be pretty long, and that's why we recommend people having the request, and somebody might ask for any number of things. Typically what we recommend as agents is anything cosmetic. It's cosmetic, it does not need to be fixed. Anything that is a health or safety item or a major defect is something that should be fixed. Now, keep in mind as a seller, anything that is found at this time during the home inspection, you do now have to move forward and disclose it. So you will need to update your seller's disclosure. So anything that's found in the home inspection today, you will have to let the future buyer know about that anyway. The other thing to keep in mind is that a lot of times you don't get angry about what the buyer is asking for, because people don't really know, and they might miss things that are happening in their house, or there's things we're just used to and we don't even realize it's an issue anymore, or things you've just forgotten about over time. So don't get angry about whatever they ask for. They just want to move into a really, really nice house and feel like it's safe and clean and a good place to move into. So, I always recommend that people just don't get angry about it. Just think about what it is and what you would like as far as your house. Our jobs as agents is to be just an objective, neutral person providing this information, because it is very emotional and it's very hard to look at the home inspection because it is your home. So anyway, so you have that time period that you have to respond, and you can give that information to me or my assistant who's coordinating the transaction with us. And so we will go through the request, and you can say what items you choose to repair and what items you choose not to repair, or whether you want to repair everything or not, or nothing. That's actually another option, is you can repair nothing. Keep in mind, a lot of times things that might come up on the request might be things that you actually know are fine, but maybe the home inspector didn't know how to work something. For example, my fireplace is kind of weird and I have to, I have a remote in order to turn it on. A lot of times an inspector's not going to know that because there's 100 different types of fireplaces out there. They may not know how to use the switch to turn mine on because I have it on a safety setting. So there may be things like that, and then you can address in the response at that time. Keep in mind all requests and responses have to be in writing, so the best way to do it is to just go through and print out the request and just cross off what you're willing to do and what you're willing to not do. And the most important thing is to make sure that you provide a request to the buyers within a certain amount of time. I say request, but actually it's a response to the request within that time frame. So that's the second date that's listed under the home inspection. And then the third and final date is the date that all the negotiations have to be completed by. That's the date of final negotiations, I think it's usually referred to as. And so you could have said earlier that you wanted more time to come up with what you wanted to do. Or the final thing is that all it has to be wrapped up, by a certain date. We can extend that, but again, everything has to be in writing. And that might be, oh, I'm still working on a quote, or I'm still doing this or doing that, or this actually didn't need to be fixed, but I'm getting some more information on it. So that's pretty much what you need to know now as far as the home inspection. So if you haven't already, I would definitely recommend sitting it down, putting it away, and then looking again at the home inspection, because it's always worse when you first look at it, and it might actually not be that bad by the second time you look at it. So let us know if you have any questions. You can reach out to me or my assistant, and we will let you know any way that that we recommend, moving forward, or any quotes that we can help you obtain, and any other information for moving forward. So I always say that it's good at this point that the buyer has provided a home inspection request, because it'd be worse if the buyer was totally scared off and wasn't moving forward at all. So it's good at least that they provided a home inspection request at this time. That's a really, really good sign. So yeah, so let us know if you have any other questions, and we will talk to you soon, and we'll get you through to closing. Thanks so much. Bye for now.